Hey guys, how you guys doing? I was talking to Steven this week, and he was telling me a little bit about some of the sessions he was thinking about, and I wanted to talk to you guys to let you know that there are the afternoon sessions. I know I sent them to you, but I wanted to go into detail so that you guys, when you were thinking about your CM competencies and the sessions you were going to do, that you didn't have too much overlap. So let me walk through the days a little bit. I thought this might be the easiest. If you guys have any questions after this, send me an email and I can definitely clarify. Okay, here we go. All right, so Monday, September 12th, I'm gonna take this back. Sunday, September 11th, students will be able to move into their residences. I'm gonna be sending them an email with a little bit of a schedule here in the next day or two, just so they know where they can check in and all that sort of stuff. But basically, we have a welcome session, 9 a.m. Monday the 12th. Sort of kicks off training. This, for some of you guys have seen it before, basically we're going to kind of go over logistics. We'll talk a little bit about the tenets of training. We'll talk a little bit about a whole bunch of stuff. Again, a welcome session, that's 9 to 10. 10 to 11, we'll be looking at campus resources and contacts. So these are some of the folks who they will be interacting with, but may not have as much time during training to actually talk with them, including academic directors, residence deans, folks from our office, and potentially even some time with the housing folks. Sorry, a little loud. We have a slot right now from 11 to 1 scheduled for the resource fair. There's like a Res Ed campus resource fair. This will be brought, they'll have different partners around campus, including CTL and some other groups wanting some face time or allowing people to ask questions if they want. 1 to 2 o'clock on Monday, residential communities. This is going to be done by the dean of our department and probably a little bit of my boss, Nate. So kind of thinking about what residential education is, what that's like at Stanford, kind of plugging them into the bigger. Then they'll be brought down to the row, what that's about, and then we'll be moving into a 215 session, 215 with the honor code and fundamental standard. The concept here is to less about the punitive, probably none to do with the punitive. This is going to be mostly about what those components are of Stanford, like what it means to be a good Stanford student, and just the kind of the honor code. I mean, come on, you guys get it. Values. Really gonna go much more into values. 3:30 to 5, we're looking at one called Engaging Peers. This is going to be led by a couple professional staff and a student. The student we're looking at right now is going to be a PhD in Pi-Phi next year. She is been a PhD before. She's been on the road before, and then we're going to be working this session around values. It starts off with. Actually, we're hoping to use you guys as a group as well, but it starts off with individual values. We're going to talk a little bit about if a sheet, they can mark off which values they think of, like basically from 1 to 100 different types, which ones they prioritize, which ones they associate with, and then on the bottom of it, it's how they prioritize those values. Our hope is that you guys will have actually done this ahead of time, and then the group will be facilitated by the student in terms of now we have individual values and we need to build those into a set of team values. The concept in terms of engaging peers is allowing us to make sure that there's always a common way to communicate with us, regardless of where we come from, how much money we have, color of our skin, religious backgrounds, whatever. We all agree that as a staff, let's just say accountability is something that we're interested in, or citizenship, or whatever. We can always come at conversations from these places, and we know that others will be receptive, at least be able to hear. So then we break them up. We allow them to do it as an individual. So that will feed into our all-staff session in the afternoon. The all-staff session is a chance we'll be broken those up by type of house. There won't be more than about 4, maybe 5 houses at a time per one facilitator. That will be an opportunity for them to start thinking about, now we have these individual values, let's start breaking those let's start reworking those into a set of team staff values. Moving on, day 2, Tuesday. Tuesday begins our morning. These are position-specific sessions. So again, we'll be having, you guys have 12 hours of time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 hours each morning. And those will be the things that we'll be doing for CMs, FMs, KMs, across the board. Lunch from noon to 1 every day. It's free time, go off, do their thing. Come back Tuesday, alcohol session. Most of you guys have been through this. This will be Ralph talking about his 4 R's and what alcohol is like at Stanford, et cetera, et cetera. go into party planning. Most of you guys get that. This is a requirement for all of our staff, and make sure that they can actually plan social events in the house, register them with Student Activities and Leadership and or with our office. That feeds into a 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock session called Let's Talk About Sex. Let's Talk About Sex should be really interesting. This is sort of a combination of sexual assault, sexual harassment, and sexual health / education. We're looking at doing this as sort of as like a panel. There will be presenters who are experts in each of those areas that will have a few minutes, maybe 10 to 15, 20 minutes to talk about those as individuals. And then we open it up for questions, and it will be facilitated by Donovan Israel, who is in Health Promotion Services. He's amazing. That'll also feed into our 5 o'clock session, 5:15 session. Again, all staff. The concept of the all staffs at the end of every day is to help debrief sort of what's been going on as a group. Allow them to ask questions, think about things as a staff. We'll be prompting them with some stuff. How do your job responsibilities overlap? How would you work together as groups? That sort of stuff. Wednesday the 14th, again, position specific in the morning, lunch. Then we move into diversity training. Diversity training is still getting worked out right now. It will probably be broken into small groups. We have a new diversity professional on campus named Tommy Woon. So we're working with him right now. This will be based out of an RA session as well, small groups related, so that people can really, I think, start talking about their own concepts of diversity. This will be facilitated by some professional staff within Res Ed. 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock we have set up right now to be programming. This is going to be a little bit about what are the resources on campus. This includes Riddell funds. This includes learning expeditions, off the farm. We have some Res Ed pools and pots of money that they can dip into, how to write proposals, timeframes, requirements, and some things have been done in the past, so they have kind of a guide. Thursday the 15th, position specific in the morning, lunch. QPR is suicide prevention, question, prevent, respond. Sorry, I forget the acronym, what it stands for, something to that nature. It is 1 hour. Sadly, it is a lecture style. It's a very it's a store-bought kind of process and presentation. So it's actually supposed to be 2 hours. We have it slimmed down to 1 hour. That will actually feed into mental health. Mental health will be done by by our CAPS liaison, Counseling and Psychological Services. His name is Alejandro. He will be working on the concept of community cares. That will be one of the tenets that sort of flows through training. Community cares is really around mental stability, mental health, things that are going on campus, the concepts of what most students developmentally are going through this time period, some of the psychological effects that can come from, and again, what is it as residents, what is it as staff that we hope and expect of you guys, as we hope and expect of them. And the concept is that we obviously don't want you to get involved in ways that you're not comfortable, but the best possible thing you can do is care for the members of your community, and we'll talk a little bit about how to do that. That'll feed into emotional health, which is much more individual. It's kind of making sure that students think about how to deal with themselves during stressful situations, calm themselves down, think clearly through the process. That will be done by, again, Donovan and some folks from Health Promotion Services. It is really much more about how to process in times and how to take care of yourself so that you're not getting burnt out. Then we'll do 4 o'clock called Faces. Faces is one that we're working on right now. I think I emailed that off to a couple of you guys. This is hopefully going to be a student-run session where we will be bringing in past managers, past staff members, RCCs, whatever. We're trying to work on some folks right now, looking at what their experiences have been like on the road so that there will be some time for them to tell about their stories. I'm breaking it right now into a couple areas. We want them to focus on the importance of working together as a staff. So what happens when an individual tries to be an individual on a staff and not bring the rest of the people in? Some of the challenges that can come in terms of breaking trust with the rest of their folks. The second side of it, or the second tenet of that one, will be that you are going to be required to do more than just what's written in your job description. So an RCC will need to do more than just stock paper, fill ink cartridges, etc. They will be required, or we really need them to, as a member of staff, to assist with residents when it comes to alcohol parties, when it comes to planning special dinner, when it comes to creative brainstorming around themes, whatever, and vice versa for FMs, for CMs, for everybody, that there's need to be